God!
Nina, can you make this recipe paleo-friendly?
To make this recipe paleo-friendly, you would have to remove the caramel and candy toppings and just eat the apples plain. You know, not to be that sort of person, but maybe this recipe ain't for you. You know? Just a thunk.
Maureen, 1 star. Will not try that again. I put half a cup instead of 1 cup of coconut, pecans, pineapple, raisins, and put 3 C of carrots instead of 2. I guess C means 1 cup then instead of 2 cups. Thus balancing out the missing halves of those extras. Irregardless, the cake, like bread pudding wet inside, did not have cake texture whatsoever.
I did not follow a single one of the measurements in this recipe, and somehow it turned out different. Wow. Who could have saw that one coming? You see, before you can get the cake texture you want, you have to read the text in the recipe. I'm not even sure if that was even a joke. Talk about a half-baked joke. Oh, that was a good joke, though. Eating well member, 3 stars. This sounds delicious, but I lowered my rating because, like many others, I am allergic to strawberries. I'm sorry, are you seeking out recipes with strawberries in them just to downvote everything that contains strawberries? This sounds like a you problem. Don't look up recipes with strawberries if you're allergic to strawberries. Bruh. And no alternative fruits were mentioned. I hope the recipe will be updated to include alternatives for others like me. I could use blueberries, peaches, oh my god, then look up a blueberry cake! Or other fruit, and if so, the same amount as strawberries. Oh my god, I swear to god, what is this recipe reviewer main character bullshit? Oh my god, I'm allergic to peanuts, so I looked up a recipe for peanut butter, and it doesn't mention other alternatives than peanuts. This feels like it could be fixed with an easy Google. Search for blueberry cake instead of strawberry cake. Sounds super easy. Okay, there is a vast difference between inclusivity, whatever that means in recipe context, versus specifically seeking out things you don't like or know aren't for you just to give them a poor rating. I think there is a line between those two somewhere where it goes from perfectly acceptable stuff that is supposed to be inclusive versus just unhinged main character bullshit. Dear God, man. 1 star. Enough with gaudy Halloween recipes that are the epitome of media-driven promotion to create one more retailer's dream season where there are so many families right now that are struggling to put food on the table and buy gas to go to work. These recipes do not create anything except the materialistic challenge to one-up the Jones. They are knockoffs of a better flavor standard recipe. 82% of Americans do not celebrate this old pagan holiday. If you want to do something special in October, provide some healthy meals to care to those suffering this catastrophic inflation that has been forced upon the lower and middle class in America. Have a blessed day. Can you imagine just uploading a cute little pumpkin soup recipe for Halloween and for the fall to your little recipe blog, and then this dude comes in and gives you 3 paragraphs of political ranting? Man, there is a time and a place. This certainly ain't it. And what do you mean by 82% of Americans do not celebrate this old pagan holiday? Did you know that according to 69% of statisticians, 420% of statistics are made up? Oh, yes, indeed. 3 stars. I made it as written, except I could not find the currant jelly, so I used grape. This was way too tangy. I must say that I cooked it 3 or 4 hours on low the first day without the wieners. The second day, party day, I cooked it for 4 more hours on low, hoping to cook out the overwhelming vinegar and mustard taste. Maybe it was the Dijon mustard I used. Yeah, you added really strong mustard to it and it tastes like mustard. Yeah, wow, maybe. I also added the wieners and they cooked for a few hours before everyone showed up. When I put away the leftovers, the wieners were rock hard and ruined from overcooking. You just described your inability to cook things in the oven, and then you left a salty review because of it. Talk about projection, man. I cannot imagine what it would be like to share a household with people like this. They even go on angry projecting rants on recipe review websites because they don't know their way around the kitchen. That is wild.
Erica and Chloe, I baked these cookies with my mom and chose to add white chocolate chips to them, and I doubled the recipe to have more for my aunts, uncles, and cousins. With the white chocolate chips, they did not taste as good, but they tasted really good still. Yummy. Would make them again. Just no white chocolate chips. 3 stars. I replaced this thing, which made it worse, so I give the recipe 3 stars because it was still kind of okay, even though it was my fault to begin with. Take that, recipe writer. Enjoy your review.
Oh, Beth,
2 stars. Not very good, but I did make a lot of changes. I used half a bottle of sriracha instead of a whole one, and also added a cup of chicken broth to cover since I was going to be at work for 9 hours and it's only supposed to cook for 5. So it turned out dry and not very flavorful, but plenty hot. I didn't follow the recipe, and I steamed the out of this dish for twice as long as it should have been, and it turned out dry. Wow, Beth, who would have saw that one coming? Holy, why did it just cook it in the afternoon after work? Oh my God.
A quick tip for everyone. This man is amazing. Great family, glad he's here for us. I haven't bought your book yet, but will be buying it soon. Just got into an accident a couple of months ago. It's been terrible, but I am surviving. But back to the cake. This was, okay, yeah, this smells like ADHD. The cake, everyone, what I did was I refrigerated the cake overnight, then poured blueberry jam, then I strained over the top. I'll be careful not to go over the edges. Good luck, JP from Miami. What does any of this have to do with it? Oh my, what? I find it both sad and endearing sometimes when you bump into like people of the older generations that very obviously struggle with, for example, ADHD, but then they have been told their whole life that no, it's not real. It's just these youngsters that make it up, and be like, it doesn't have to be this hard, you know. Please. Reader comments and reviews. Trisha says, I have zero idea how there are so many decent reviews of this. It must have just been fans who like everything you do. I am a professional pastry chef, and I should have known something was off. Cook times are totally wrong, and any seasoned chef would know that. Can you expand on how cook times are totally wrong? Did you mean for the sauce? For the crust? It is hard to appreciate your comment without context. It seems like a professional pastry chef would naturally provide detailed information.
What? Who would do that? Go on the internet and tell lies? Huh? 5 stars. I substituted tofu for the steak, corn pops for the potatoes, and used some dandelions instead of the jalapenos. It was awful. Never again.
5 stars. Very funny. Obvious parody review. I appreciate it, Christopher. You have made me done the ha-has today. A bad cook. I guess that's censored by like the poster, which is a very accurate name in these cases.
I don't blame the recipe for what happened. I should have stopped after dropping the eggs or after spilling half the bag of sugar. But yet, things got really bad when making the caramel. I was using a cheap spoon made of cheap plastic. I didn't realize it was melting because the caramel would stick to the spoon and distort the spoon. The melted plastic sort of mixed with the caramel before cementing to the pot. I owe my housemate a new pot. My tip, use a heat-resistant spoon.
Man, and they say microplastics are bad. How about macroplastics? Eating an entire plastic spoon in your bakery. Hell yeah, just speedrun that thing. I gave this 1 star because it fails to mention, perhaps the author didn't know, that xylitol is extremely toxic to dogs. It kills. There are many other sugar substitutes that might be used. Why would you give lemon drizzled cake to a dog? Yeah, that's pretty wild. If the recipe isn't for pets or dogs specifically, and you want to cook something that is obviously intended for humans, and then like change it to make it for pets for some reason, it's probably up to you to make sure it's suitable. You know, it's not like every recipe out there that contains like chocolate writes like, don't feed this to your dog, by the way, because they're gonna die. Maybe it's up to you as the owner to make sure you don't feed it things that are toxic to it. Just a thought.
Lucy, 1 out of 1,000. I would give this rating if I could. I don't know, this is supposed to be a chocolate chip cookie recipe. It doesn't say when to add chocolate chips or how many chips to add. And since when do chocolate chip cookies have peanut butter?
This isn't a chocolate chip cookie recipe. This is a peanut butter cookie recipe.
But I can't read. 1 star.
That's like 90% of these reviews. I'm illiterate, so I'm gonna leave 1 star in this review. How can you be mad? There aren't any chocolate chips in a recipe that doesn't have chocolate chips. Oh my god. I had this delicious omelet this morning. I seasoned the eggs with sugar, oil, and chocolate and threw a little flour for texture. Oh, look at this. Look at this nice little omelet. And this omelet with a twist, if you may.
I noticed there were no eggs in this recipe, so I added one. What a disappointment. The edges were baked and the middle was complete mush, even after I put it back in the oven for 40 minutes. 1 star.
2 people found this helpful. 2 people were like, oh gee, Karen, you like messed up this recipe and left a bad review because of it. That is so helpful. Now I know not to do the same dumb mistake myself. I get a very patronizing vibe from these posts, right? It's like, oh, the author must have forgotten about the egg, so I'll just add it. Oh, it turned out like garbage? Bad recipe. But you literally didn't follow the recipe. How can you give a recipe a bad review if you didn't follow it? Huh? Karen? What the hell? I didn't have potatoes, so I substituted rice. Didn't have paprika, so I used another spice. Didn't have tomato sauce, I used tomato paste. A whole can, not a half. I don't believe in waste. My friend gave me this recipe, said you couldn't beat it. There must be something wrong with her. I couldn't even eat it. It's like a poem. Oh, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. This poem encapsulates this entire unhinged rabbit hole. I love this. 5-star. Have made it like this before. I like it. Leaving a 5-star to counteract the jerk that left a 1-star review because her husband is diabetic. Back to like the main characters of recipe reviews. I swear to God, reviewing recipes you can't eat and didn't make is a dick move. Get a life and quit making me do this. Helpful. 595 people. People are really fed up with the main characters invading the baking community. Oh my God, they are everywhere. I thought this was mainly a TikTok problem. I was sorely mistaken. They are equally rampant in the baking communities. It's not beautiful. That's not the word I want to use. Absolutely horrendous. I would love to know if this lady just goes around to every single recipe that contains like sugar or whatever just to leave a bad review and be like, my husband can't eat this. Is that how you spend your day? Is that your hobby? Reviewing things and giving them a bad review if you can't eat it? Is that your life? Well then, I first tried it with water. Not very good that way. Milk made all the difference. 5 stars. You definitely need some sort of milk for this golden milk recipe. It's even in the title, Weldon. God. 1 star. For safety reasons, please read this review. I made this for my 4 dogs that literally range in size from a toy Pomeranian to the Great Dane. Instead of doing a dog bone shape, I did a medium-sized cat shape. Ah, yes, indeed. So you already haven't followed like the guidance of the recipe. Got it. All 4 dogs loved this treat and went crazy for them. I mean, really crazy. In the chaos of getting these treats, my medium-sized rescue dog swallowed one of these whole and got it stuck in his esophagus because he didn't follow the recipe and the sizings, but now it's the recipe's fault, I guess. He was hospitalized, and our vet bill was $1,000. I looked up this recipe, made it in a different stupid size so my dog can choke on it. My dog choked on it. 1 star. I wanted to give these 5 stars because the dogs really love them, but I want people to be aware of how much they love them. So it's 1 star because the recipe is too good. I would recommend making them small in size or tearing them into smaller bites when feeding them to your furry friends. Feeding them to your furry friend. My brain is so damaged, man. It has been over a week and my dog is doing great, but it was really scary. I just wanted others to be aware that these treats may be too good. That's why you leave 1 star. These people are insufferable, man. I dislike these people so much. Oh my God. First time I cook Asian recipe with alcohol. It already smells delicious.
Hi Jeff. It doesn't have alcohol in it. We hope you enjoy it anyway, though.
Crazy Boo 86, 2 stars.
Carrots have way too much sugar, so replace them with shredded kale. Cake turned out rather nasty, so 2 stars. Unsure what went wrong, but it's too dry also.
We definitely recommend preparing this recipe as written, as the carrots provide much needed texture and moisture.
I was gonna make a carrot cake, but replaced it with fucking kale. I don't know what could have gone wrong.
Well, Chrissy Boo, maybe it's the fucking shredded kale. No, you don't have to be a goddamn detective to figure out it's the shredded kale, Chrissy. You really shredded this recipe, didn't you? Did you read your own message? It says right there what went wrong. It was you. Kristen.
We used Pepsi's. I'm not sure if that's why it was a bit sweet, but I think we'll use regular soy sauce next time if I don't have a Coke.
There isn't any Coke or Pepsi in this recipe. Wait a second. We will use regular soy sauce next time if I don't have a Coke. Are you replacing soy with Coca-Cola and thinking it's gonna turn out like intended with the recipe? This is unironic. Man, I thought like I'm not the most like advanced person in the kitchen or whatever, but this blows my absolute mind.
Moira, hi. This didn't work. Mimi and my husband are non-GMO, gluten-free vegans and cannot use egg, so I substituted this for mashed banana.
I guess mashed banana?
Mashed banana, and it just would not set. I followed all the instructions, except that part with eggs and mashed bananas, I guess. So I think it may be my oven, unfortunately, that cannot maintain temperature, and in the end was really runny and tasted quite bitter.
It's the oven's fault now. So at least you're not blaming the recipe maker. It's the oven's fault that you didn't follow the recipe. I see. Even the oven is catching strays in this household.
And in the end, it was really runny and tasted quite bitter, so I'm not sure what happened. I won't be trying this again. I'm sorry, what a waste.
Hi, Moira. An extreme substitution like using mashed banana in place of eggs for an egg custard tart. It's not always going to work. I'm sorry that it feels like a waste of time, but sometimes one just has to acknowledge that a banana isn't an egg, you know? I cannot imagine how insufferable these people must be IRL. Can you imagine this? You write like an angry review because you messed up a recipe so bad you think an egg is a banana. And then you even blame your oven for it. Like everyone is catching strays. It's the recipe's writer's fault. It's the literal oven's fault. Like an inanimate object gets for you putting a banana in an egg custard tart. Oh my god. Man, I would love to do a study on this stuff and see if there's like a correlation between people that write these unhinged reviews and people that are like estranged parents. My hypothesis is that the Venn diagram is just a circle. This sounds absolutely insufferable. Can you imagine having this around you in your household? Holy shit.
1 star. You didn't specify cooked or uncooked rice, so I used cooked rice. And of course it turned out that way too watery to eat, so I wasted 6 cups of milk because the recipe was unclear. Thanks a lot.
Step 3 tells you to cook the rice until it's tender. That's a pretty big clue. Cooked rice is already tender. Others seem to have figured it out without issue. No, but not little Kimika. Kimika doesn't figure it out. Kimika blames recipe for not being able to read. Literacy is not required for recipes. Yuck.
Sharon! Okay, I think I am the exception to the rule. I used Yukon Gold potatoes because it's what I had on hand. I also used condensed milk. Otherwise, I followed the recipe to the letter. I ended up with a pot of wallpaper paste. Kinda sad.
Condensed milk is a thick syrup and sweet. That does sound like a recipe for disaster. A recipe for disaster. Oh, yes, indeed. I boiled paper mache, basically. And I follow the recipe exactly, apart from literally replacing both main ingredients. Ooh, tasty paper mache.
Beth, 1 star. Potatoes are super high oxalate, and suggesting subbing turmeric for saffron proves you don't get what low oxalate diet is.
I never stated this dish was for an oxalate diet. It's just a Spanish recipe for chickpea stew. Thanks for the 1-star rating. Much love. For those of you also wondering what the fuck a low oxalate diet is, it's sometimes recommended to people prone to kidney stones. It's also purported to help autism, but as someone on the spectrum, the Venn diagram between helps autism and pseudoscience quackery is a circle. It avoids certain vegetables, spinach, potatoes, carrots, legumes, nuts, soy, etc. Ah, yes, the super healthy diet where you avoid vegetables and legumes. Of course! Ah, Beth, another little bakery review main character.
This recipe isn't high oxalate. How could you not know that? Because no one said it.
You're arguing against something no one has said, Beth. Talk about making up problems. Are you really this bored? Is your life so perfect you have to go to recipe websites and make problems where there are none? My God, Beth.
I was in a hurry, so I used a cake mix instead. Used fresh sliced strawberries, and it turned out wonderful. Thank you for such an easy but elegant recipe.
Wait, but you didn't use anything from the recipe. You got a finished cake mix.
I found this recipe for a strawberry cake, so I went and bought a strawberry cake, and it was really tasty. 5 stars.
This was delicious, but I made some changes. I used smoked eel instead of whitefish, and subbed Bulgarian yogurt for the milk. Started off with beef stock that had a touch of smoked salmon-flavored vodka, simmered on it when added Jerusalem artichoke in place of the potato. Final finished with a gigant beans. Amazing, we'll make again. Just kidding. Per made recipe, it was excellent. I like how the whole baking community has just like been so fed up with these a-holes that everyone is just writing satire little reviews now and making fun of them. That is so beautiful.
2 stars. Recipe was easy to make, but never put cloves in this recipe. That was a horrible taste.
3 cloves of garlic. Not cloves, lol. How did you measure your cloves, lol? Well, did you go to your garden and pick up some cloves instead of reading the next word that said garlic? You're literally in your yard eating grass. That's basically what you're doing. Holy shit, man.
Ray says, I made this, but instead of milk, I used applesauce. Yummy, but the texture is just so wrong. Maybe, Ray, because applesauce isn't fucking milk. Okay, I definitely did not overmix and was very careful when combining, apart from that fact where I replaced the milk with applesauce. Any advice, please?
I'm guessing he's probably because he's so obsessed about the probably wasn't like.
Emma, 1 star did not turn out like the picture showed. The whole sheet of cookies melted in the oven into one huge rectangular cookie. Use the exact proportion given, except I used rice flour and egg replacer.
1 star. I followed the recipe exactly, except for these 2 very crucial ingredients, and it somehow messed it up. Wow, Emma. Brent M, 5 stars. This recipe is fantastic. I would like to address some bad reviews a couple of people made. This is a huge pet peeve of mine. Do not change the recipe, then give it a bad review because you screwed it up. Cindy P noted that she had to skinny the soup up, then gave it 2 stars. Make the recipe as written. Cindy, if you're worried about fat, which by the way is vital for life, eating a dang rice cake. Paulette didn't follow the recipe either. If she had read the recipe closely and watched the video, she would have known the importance of using canned tomatoes. Of course, fresh tomatoes will result in a weak flavor. It is common sense. Take that, Cindy Paulette.
Ellen, I didn't have almond meal, so I made a crust with 1/2 oatmeal and half of wheat flour. It was sort of like eating wet sand. I'm going to look for another recipe next time. The peach filling was pretty good, but the crust was terrible. 2 stars.
You know why it was terrible, Alan? It's because instead of following the recipe, you made up your own little recipe instead of it. And then you gave the original recipe a poor rating because you made up your own little stained recipe. And it wasn't good because, wow, who would have thunk it? It wasn't... Oh my god, Ellen!
1 star. Not making these again. I was on the phone talking to my sister and burnt up the whole batch, lol. But the first time I made them, they were amazing.
I was trying to cook this recipe, but I just burned my kitchen down because I didn't turn off the oven. So 1 star review, not doing this again. The first time when I actually did it, they were amazing. But this time I was too busy on the phone, so I burnt them. The recipe's called 1 star. Man, these people are amazing. These people are absolutely amazing humans, aren't they?
1 star. Not everyone likes bacon or ranch. Those are my 2 most hated flavors.
Then why even bother looking at the recipe? Don't try it. It is that simple. Duh. Yeah, this is what I mean. Like main characters going rampant in recipe review sections. It is absolutely insane. I don't like bacon, so let me spend my entire day Googling bacon recipes to give them a bad review for daring to use bacon. Look at me. I am an asset to society.
Phoebe, 1 star. So my grandmother was born and raised in Yorkshire, and I am used to a recipe. I wanted to make the real Yorkshire pudding, but couldn't find my family recipe. So I came to this in a pinch, and what a disappointment. Refrigeration. My grandmother didn't even have a refrigerator as a young girl growing up in rural Yorkshire. What a complete joke. 1 person found this helpful.
Cover and set aside at room temperature for 1 hour, or if it's the day before, store covered in the refrigerator for 8 hours overnight. For anybody curious about the fridge, it's not required if you even have the most basic level of reading comprehension.
She didn't have a fridge, and neither did we learn how to read.
Recipes. I didn't have potatoes, so I substituted rice. I didn't have paprika, so I used another spice. I didn't have tomato sauce, so I used tomato paste. A whole can, not half a can. I don't believe in waste. A friend gave me the recipe. She said you couldn't beat it. There must be something wrong with her. I just couldn't even eat it. From an old issue of Progressive Farmer. This is so funny. Look at this. Favorite recipes. Oh my god, this has been around for forever. This is not even a new trend. People have been unhinged about recipes. Oh, this is like human tradition at this point. It's part of our instinctual nature to be unhinged about recipes and cooking.
Lily, hi Natasha. I have tried this recipe, but I think I made a mistake. Was 1 hour too long? I wanted a golden color, but my mom told me to do it longer and it turned out choppy darker.
Hi Lily, I recommend following the recipe as written and as it's especially your first time because that has been proven to work.
Hi, I did this thing instead of this thing in the recipe. What could have gone wrong? Question mark.
These people just don't want to read their own text, do they? This is amazing.
1 star. Disgusting. I ran out of orange juice, so I used orange soda instead. Way too sweet for Bob.
Who the f*** is Bob?
1 star. I didn't give this a good rating because I don't like oatmeal raisin cookies, but everyone in my family enjoyed them. I guess it's an acquired taste. Sorry, Beth.
So this person is just like,
My whole family sitting enjoy these cookies, but I can't enjoy them. So 1 star because Luna Hootie Doo, I'm the main character. And if you don't know that, you get a 1 star. Oatmeal my ass.
1 star. Made this for my dad's birthday, but no one really liked the texture or taste. This cake does not have a fine crumb, and instead, mine came out a bit rubbery. I skipped the baking soda and used sunflower oil instead of vegetable.
I crashed my car because I was driving on the wrong side of the road. Oh, must be something wrong with the road.
These people are insufferable.
Oh, 1 star? Funny, no negative reviews are posted? I guess I won't see this one posted or published anyway. This one's horrible, very dense. Not good, will not make again. Maybe if I added pineapple like one reviewer did or an extra egg like another, this was more of a banana bread than a banana cake. It was better once refrigerated. Icing was very thick and sweet, a little too sweet for me.
Lynn. Dear sweet Lynn, this recipe is for banana bread. Not sure how you mixed up this recipe for banana cake. I have used this recipe over 6 times and it always comes out amazing, moist, and perfect.
Oh my god, this banana cake recipe is so bad you would think it's a banana bread recipe. Maybe because it is a banana bread recipe, Lynn. Have you thought about that?
Fail brownies? Oh, that looks sticky. So I followed the brownie recipe. Did you though? To the letter. But I added walnuts and omitted the sugar.
But then you didn't follow it to the letter!
They came out dry, weird texture, and there was a layer of butter on the top. I just don't know why these sucked. 50%. I could make a bingo on this stuff. It's like this box on the bingo would have been like, I totally follow the recipe except this, which is the same as the other box on the bingo, which would have been like, I don't know what went wrong except this thing that I did wrong.
Thelma, 1 star. It set my oven on fire. I paid $2,000 in damages. My kids cried.
I'm just curious as to how this recipe set your oven on fire.
I burned my house down because I left these cookies in the oven for 17 hours. 1 star.
1 star. I followed the recipe exactly. Except that I replaced oil with applesauce. Woo! Unfortunately, I did not turn out well. Its consistency is neither brownie nor cake-like. Who would have fucking thunk it? I can't eat it, sadly. We'll have to dispose the whole thing. I don't know what went wrong as I followed the recipe exactly, except that small detail about applesauce instead of literal oil. I don't know if I thought that was a good idea, but here we are.
Hello, do you absolutely need a powdered sugar for the frosting? Can you just skip it?
I know you cannot skip it or you would just be eating butter and Oreos. Just dipping Oreos in butter. Nice. Get some sweet gains. On a video about an eggnog recipe, by the way.
Is there a good substitute for people allergic to eggs and dairy?
Y'all just gonna have to sit this one out. Why don't you just look up something else? Like, my god, maybe there is something. You know, nowadays there are probably some kind of vegan replacements for this kind of stuff that are like lactose-free or something like that. But man, it's like a very difficult recipe to look up if you don't like dairy or eggs. The only thing worse would be if you don't like dairy, eggs, or alcohol. Ooh, hot, hot, hot. The pumpkin is all about baked. Thank you all so much for watching this beautiful video, you wonderful, beautiful beings. I do hope you learned something about the wonderful world of baking. It is, for some reason, just as unhinged as the rest of the internet. Isn't that amazing? The unhingedness of humans just seems to, like, level out beautifully. Is this like the law of entropy or something like that? But it's like unhingedness density in humanity. It always wants to even out. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? Wow, we have a scientific theory on our hands, don't we? Have an amazing rest of your day because you do deserve it, and I will see you in the very near future. Take care.
Oh boy, boy. As a Gen Sigma that was born in 2025, I always enjoy surfing on my old classmates and see what they're up to today. Oh boy, I found one of my old yearbooks. That is so cool. Our parents gave us such great names. Oh, it was like yesterday I met, oh my god, and Hind. Oh, that was so beautiful. I always had a crush on Rocco Crass. He was always very good. Gallo Diesel was always a little bit of a weirdo. And Barry Shriver, popular girls, and Error Drion, disgusting. Maybe our parents should have given us simpler names.
Disclaimer. Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lasses, and welcome to the You smell amazing today. And don't let anyone else lie to you and tell you otherwise. Available right now is the Birthday Sprinkle Emotional Support Team, and it's so freaking cute. Oh my god. Make sure to check it out. Link in the description below before it's gone forever. And also, we have the pins from the demons on r/place available now as well. They come in multiple colors, and it's so beautiful. Oh my god, make sure to get them before they're gone forever. Speaking of things that are absolutely unhinged, have you also noticed the wild parenting trends of parents naming their childs things that are completely incomprehensible? You know your child is gonna struggle in school when they can't spell their first name until they're 18 years old. I'm just gonna love the reunions in like 2 decades from now when high school students come together and be like, oh, hello there, Layla. How are you doing this fine decade? It's gonna be great. So today we have gathered to critique and laugh about the wild naming trends that parents have chose for their poor children. Well, this is one battle us millennials sure as hell are not winning. We thought we were gonna bring like good parenting around, but instead we replaced all the old unhinged with just new unhinged. Enjoy. My mom named me after Naruto. Salad Ninja Egg. Can you actually do this? Is it legal in the US to just name your children whatever the heck? Like at some point it has to just count as child abuse, right? It's like, oh, that's a cute baby. What is he called? Oh, little dog what a cute name. Imagine when you go to your first job interview and your name is dog What? One of my cousins' list she sent my sister of name ideas. Alright, we have Catamiranda. So it's like a female catamaran. Catamiranda. Brixlin. Tork. You know, in Swedish, tork means to dry something. Oh, man torkar sig I röven efter att vara på toa. Oh, tork. Quintorius. Lasagna. Lusange. Is it lasagna or lusange? Both are bad. Is that supposed to be Veronica? Verovnica. I swear to God, you're giving your children dyslexia on purpose. Christyle, Brentley, Maclin, McKinley, Nicole, Jack Zinn, Paxtine. Why is there not a single name that is just spelled normally? I swear to God, what is your cousin doing?
Yes, Catamiranda, the lesser-known female catamaran.
I called it! I saw exactly the same thing. Maybe the family is really into catamarans, so they wanted to name their child after that beautiful catamaran where they were conceived, which is an equally cursed method of like choosing names for your children. Don't do that.
We named our child Paris because we conceived them in Paris. Like, don't name your child after okay, no. My daughter is called Taylor. She's 16 now. Anytime anyone try to call her Ty, I'll pipe up with La. Safe to say it isn't shortened.
Or /tragedy. You have done your child a great disservice. You know when you spawn into a video game and you can sometimes choose the difficulty. This is someone else choosing your difficulty for you. They just turn down one of your sliders and be like, nah, life is too easy for my little child, so I'm gonna name them Tail. Their name just sounds like Arnold gargling, doesn't it? Her name is Cloggy. like a clogged toilet. No, is it supposed to be Chloe? There's no way in hell this is Chloe. It's Cloggy. I'm calling her Cloggy. Okay, it's your fault your child is being bullied. My daughter narrowly escaped the tragedy. This is a story about 19-year-old me as a mother. I lived in Jamaica, got pregnant at 19, and watched way too much Days of Our Lives. There was a little girl on that soap opera whose name was Abigail, and I loved it. It was never a name that was common when I was growing up, so I never saw it spelled. However, Gail was a common name. When it was time to register her name, I spelled it as Abby Gale. Luckily, Jamaicans can be nosy, and the guy at the register asked me why I didn't spell it the common way, Abigail, to which I thought was a much better spelling. I think she escaped the tragedy. She is 25 now, by the way. Oh my god, the guy working in the registry is an absolute hero, just saving children from tragedies. What an absolute Chad. We received an anonymous tip about how you plan to spell your baby's name. This should totally be a thing. The name police. Unironically. This beautiful little comic was also made by City Cyclops. You should totally follow them on Instagram for more little cursed comics. Heck yes. Expecting parents, please, I beg you, please.